Welcome back. It has been more than 2 weeks since Governor Evers released his biennial budget proposal, and now negotiations are well underway, and a sales tax hike for Milwaukee is on the line.
And this week, spending in the state Supreme Court race reaches a new record. CBS 58 Capitol correspondent Emilee Fannon and WisPolitics editor J.R. Ross talk about that and more in this week's Capitol Connection.
Jared, we're going to start with the massive amounts of spending in the state Supreme Court race, as this week it shattered national records. We are now at $19 million in the contest between Janet Protasiewicz and Dan Kelly. The previous record was set in 2004 in Illinois, which was $15 million. So we're already at 19. We're going to see more. But looking at those numbers, Jared, there's quite a little bit of disparity of who has a little bit more cash on hand.
I mean, it's liberals from the get-go. Now, a big part of that is because Janet Protasiewicz has got $6.5 million on TV. Now, that is from post-primary through April 4th, so it's not all in one shot. But that's a big marker she's laid down. Fair Courts America is on the first outlay to support Daniel Kelly. It's an anti-Protasiewicz ad. It's about less than $1 million the first week. Then look, beyond that, Better Wisconsin Together, it's got $1.3 million going after Kelly. And then you dig down in the reports from the state, and I'm seeing about $1 million already spent on get out the vote efforts by liberal groups. They are better organized, they are better financed, and more motivated right now than conservatives are. There is still a window for Daniel Kelly to win this race. It is getting narrow, and they need to have money come in soon to change the dynamic, because it's getting to the point where we're going, okay, how do you survive that kind of spending from the left? And on two, how high could this go? To put it in perspective, the 2010 governor's race was $37 million. I'm not predicting it'll hit there, but we're already at 19. We've got 4 weeks to go. How close can we get to being what a governor's race used to be like a dozen years ago?
Next, let's talk about budget negotiations going forward. This week, we've heard from the Republican co-chairs on the Budget Committee kind of cast doubts that a flat tax is very unlikely to be in the final budget document, but also something that's very important to Milwaukee is that them allowing to raise their sales tax by 1%. They have been here at the Capitol lobbying with top Republicans, lawmakers on both sides of the aisle, really trying to make their pitch, but this unlikeliness isn't good news for Milwaukee leaders who've been pushing for this, but also they have to prove to these top Republicans that they really have to make some changes. We know about their pension system needs to be fixed, and they need a lot more money now that this financial aid from the federal government, federal pandemic aid, excuse me, is running dry. So what is their pitch, I guess, now that there's some doubts about their ability to do this?
I get the impression that GOP leadership knows something has to be done. They might be happy about it, but they realize that the options are not great beyond the 1% sales tax boost that will be split between the city and the county. The challenge is for outside Republicans, they're kind of going, okay, wait a second. Milwaukee's made bad decisions for years. Why should we bail them out? Why shouldn't Milwaukee feel the pain and change its behavior rather than us stepping in? The problem is that's not realistic. You can't default on a pension obligation. It's not realistic for the county or city to go bankrupt, essentially. So what do? So what I'm hearing is there's going to be strings attached, all right? So let's talk the pension, for example. Okay, if they agree the 1% upper for the sales tax, might they say, okay, look, we're going to change the pension system in Milwaukee, in the city and the county, where this sales tax money goes toward the obligations for existing participants and retirees, but new employees go into the state system. Now, this is just an idea to throw out there like alternatives to continuing to the same thing for year after year. They want to change. How do you change it? How do you finance it? And what do you do with it?
And also this week, Governor Tony Evers released his capital budget. Now, every year when he introduces this, he doesn't get everything that he asks for. But we want to highlight some of the specific proposals that would deal with Milwaukee. Now, one of them would be an investment in Bronzeville, a new soccer complex, and a new office. So, Jer, I mean, like I mentioned, usually not all of these get approved, but this is good news for Milwaukee about these possibilities that could be coming to the area.
The state office building is a great example, right? Last budget, Evers proposed $160 million to build a new facility, new office building to house state agencies that are in Milwaukee. This new proposal, though, is a public-private partnership. Republicans haven't gone along with the money for a new building, so this would be, okay, we realize that's not feasible. Let's go ahead and work with the private sector, have it be a joint operation, and maybe that would pass Republican-controlled legislature.
All right, that will do it for this week. Thanks for joining us.
And thanks to Emilee and JR for that report. You can find more in-depth political coverage on our website. Just search Capitol Connection at CBS58.com.
With the general election